Guys, we finally got the Mornye set, and oh my god, is she an interesting character. Let's get right into it. So guys, as I was saying, here is finally Mornye's set. We finally have it. And as a summary, she is literally Shorekeeper, but for Tomb Break teams. Let's see exactly what she does. So, Mornye, Fusion, Broadblade, normal attacks, they are really cool, but there's a lot of text and they are not really relevant, so let's skip them for now. What does this skill do? Well, basically what it does is it heals you and it does a parry. Let's get now into the relevant stuff, which is the Resonance Liberation, amazing looking. And what does it do? The Resonance Liberation tells you that you need to build 260 ER, and if you achieve this amount of energy recharge, you will get 80% crit rate and 160 crit damage. And it also generates a field, which is called the High Syntony field. This is really similar to the intro of Shorekeeper. We cannot know yet how much damage this is gonna make, but crit guarantee always sounds nice. About the field that I mentioned that she creates, something really relevant and that I love about this character, it gives you higher resistance to interruption to all of your characters. So you know you're not gonna get interrupted anymore while doing the combos that you want to make. That is amazing. Only because of this, I am excited about this character. Now, the Fortress circuit is a bit complicated. Basically, she has two bars, kind of similar to what Linnea has. And on the first bar, you just fill it and it's fine. And then the second bar, you activate it with a charge attack. And what does the second bar do? When it's full, you can press the charge attack and it gives what is called an observation marker to the enemies for 30 seconds. So when they are in this state, if you inflict Tomb Break to them, another mark, which is called the interfere mark, is gonna affect them. And targets that are affected with this take up to 40% more damage. This is really strong, and one thing that's really important to this is that it transfers to other enemies if this enemy is defeated, because otherwise in multi-target she may have been worse than what she is right now. It is important to mention that this 40% right now can only be achieved if you have on your team Linnea. So that is what I was saying, that it is super important to play her in the Tune teams, because otherwise you're not gonna get this 40%. That's what differentiates her from Verina and Shorekeeper. The intro, it is important to use it because it gives you 20 concerto points, and also whenever you do the intro, happens the same that happens with Linnea or with Shorekeeper, that the Forte bar fills quite a bit, so she doesn't need to be as much time on the field. On the other hand, the outro is the same as Shorekeeper and Verina, but better. Shorekeeper and Verina give you 15% all team damage amplification, she gives you 25%. And the other inherent skill that she has is again the same that Shorekeeper and Verina has. A bit different, but you can summarize it as if an ally would be killed, it is revived. So lots of similarities between these characters. Okay, since I've been comparing them so much, Shorekeeper, Verina, and Mornye, let's see which buffs each one of them give the characters. So here I have a summary of what each one of them do. So for example, the set. Shore and Verina use the old healing set, while Mornye uses the new healing set. Basically they do the same, so it's on a one-on-one comparison. But on another hand, Shorekeeper gives 50% crit value, she gives crit damage and crit rate. Verina gives 20% of attack, and Mornye gives 40% damage bonus and 50% of off-tune build-up rate. Again, this 40% damage bonus only applies if you can do a Tomb Break, which right now it's only reliable if you have Linnea on your team. If you add all of this up, the buff that she is giving is higher than what Shorekeeper and what Verina are giving right now. However, you can only achieve this in Tomb Break teams. That's what I'm saying, that Shorekeeper is better if you play a generic team that does not rely on this, that's not playing Linnea. These, of course, are calculations, assuming that Mornye spends the same time on field that Shorekeeper does and deals the same damage that Shorekeeper deals. So we cannot know for sure until we get the final numbers of the character which one is gonna be better. But assuming that, since they are so similar, it would make sense that Kuro made them super similar on the on-field time they spend. Knowing this, Shorekeeper is better generically, Verina is better only in the team of Frolova, and Mornye is better in the Tomb Break teams. What if you're not playing a Tomb Break team? Is it worth it to go for Mornye? Well, according to some calculations that I've seen, Mornye would be in between Shorekeeper and Verina, so Shorekeeper, Mornye, and Verina in these teams. So she would not be bad either. It's just that she would not be better than Shore in these cases. Let's go now to see her weapon. And guys, I have really good news or really bad news. Depends on whether you like her or not and you were willing to pull for her weapon. the weapon is quite bad. Literally, it does nothing. I mean, unless she deals a ton of damage, the only thing that this weapon offers is, yeah, huge energy recharge, so that's always nice. And what does it do? What is its effect? Well, increases the defense by 16%, which may increase her damage and her healing for a bit. And if you cast Resonance Liberation, it restores 8 points of Concerto energy. You know what else restores 8 points of Concerto energy? You're right. Discord. This weapon, which is a 4-star weapon that anybody can get, restores 8 of Concerto energy, not even with the ultimate, but with the resonance skill, and this is at R1. If you got it at R5, it is 16 Concerto energy. So this weapon is almost as good as her own weapon, because the last effect it has is, yeah, it buffs the team, but only by 20% crit damage. It is getting one roll of crit damage in one of your ecos. So yeah, her weapon is not useless, don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but don't spend 65 wishes in this weapon. Having this that you can use, and that's not gonna be that much worse. How about the team Seidram? She's gonna be useful even without Linai, but she's not gonna be amazing. So which teams is she gonna be played in? Well, anywhere where you will want to play a short keeper, it is a good third slot. So for example, the best teams, the teams that I see her right now being the best in, are the Yuno team. I'm pretty sure that this team is gonna improve a bit by adding Mornye here instead of Shorekeeper, because already this team wanted to play Linai naturally because she buffs a lot, Therefore, adding a character that synergizes so well with Linai probably is the better option. Other teams that could play Mornye and be good. The Carlota team. Carlota also works well with Linai because Jeju is not a great character to begin with, so this is not a bad option. Mornye as a third slot could be great. Other teams, Xianliao and Linai, for example, with Mornye would also be good. Besides that, she has many other teams that she can be placed in. Augusta, Linai, Mornye. You can play her in the Augusta, Shorekeeper team replacing Shorekeeper. Whatever you would be playing Shorekeeper, she's just gonna be slightly worse. So what is my final conclusion on Linai? Well, this is of course a really preliminary conclusion. We cannot know exactly until we get her real numbers of how much damage she's gonna deal, how much time she's gonna spend on field, etc. But would I recommend to pull for Mornye? Well, it depends. The good thing is that she is a super generic character and she's gonna be able to be played in any team. She is most likely gonna have 2 slots in the new endgame, so it's like pulling for 2 characters, that's always great. And lastly, it looks like she is gonna work wonders with tune break characters. And it looks a lot like they're gonna release many more characters that use this mechanic during La Hairoi. On the other hand, she is not gonna improve right now your account that much. From what I've seen, she is about a 5 to 10% better assuming these conditions in the teams that she fits the best. If not, she's gonna be slightly worse than Shorekeeper. If you can wait, you should wait until we get revealed IMF kit, so until the last days of the patch, and after that you can decide. If you see that she synergizes well with MF, go ahead, pull for her. If not, maybe you should wait. But again, if you like her a lot, you're not gonna regret it. She's a good character. I've seen a lot of people saying that she's not, but no, she is. She's good. And the only thing that I would advise you is do not pull for her weapon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all we know about Mornye. Say in the comments what you guys think about Mornye, if you're gonna be pulling for her, if not. And yeah, thanks so much for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.